Hi fellas, as anyone living in the British Isles knows, these grooming gangs, they stupidly call them, this is sexual abuse of white girls, usually between the ages of 10 and 16, 17, done primarily 90% by these men from who follow an ancient Middle Eastern ideology. We'll put it like that. So we've got to be quite careful how you word it now, because if you mention the dreaded I word, or especially the dreaded M word, your video will get took off in short order, often within 2 hours. Believe it or not, I know this from experience. Yes, these are the culprits. There's about 30 or 40 of them altogether. There appears to be some kind of transgender or white girl amongst them on the right there. But yes, these were from a multitude of backgrounds, as it says here. Let's see, here we go. According to the review, the abusers were mainly not white, but came from a diverse range of backgrounds, including Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Indian, Iranian, Iraqi, Kurdish, Turkish, Albanian and Eastern European, but they all had one thing in common. Can you guess what it is, by any remote possibility? Yes, they all followed one barbaric 7th century supremacist ideology that started in around 627 AD. Yes, as you can clearly read here, I'll put a link underneath. At least 700 girls were abused, probably a lot more. That's who they identified, and they locked them up for many, many years. And they continued with arrogant persistence because the authorities locked up the victims rather than the offenders. I mean, actually, like, as usual, it's a lot easier to blame the young girl and put her into care and drag her off from her parents than it is to actually tackle the fact that we've got thousands or hundreds of thousands of these weirdos that are told in their holy book it's okay to do this. Yeah, you'll find it hard to believe. There's not a lot of peace in the religion of peace. Very little, in fact, because it was invented, devised, whatever you want to call it, by a warlord. Yes, a man who personally cut the throats of boys, men, women on occasions, tortured people, had hands and feet chopped off, eyes poked out. Oh yes, he knew all the tricks. He knew all the tricks to find out where the gold was. Now, the trouble being, if this was just an isolated thing, it wouldn't be so bad, because on raw statistics, I think about 65% of the pedos in Britain are white. But where these gangs are concerned, that do target hundreds and hundreds of girls, almost always, what we call chav girls from poor backgrounds whose dads aren't policemen and lawyers and you know, high-flung businessmen. Well, of course, I mean, as we know, the police and the prison service and all these people working for the government are generally pretty frigging supremacist. They all look down at the classists. It's like racist. You know what a racist is? Where you look down your nose at someone because of their racial background, their racial makeup. A classist is someone that looks down the nose at poor people, or anyone basically that isn't on their 80,000 a year. Now, the trouble is, as Tommy Robinson and Paul Golding and Jada Franson, I've been trying to tell you guys for years, you know, these are not isolated incidents. They're all linked because it has racial overtones. They all have a racial element. And they've actually admitted now, the dame in charge of the police authorities has actually admitted it's all going on all over the country. Every town and city. There's at least 71 towns and cities where it's been confirmed. You know, varying from, I mean, it's been endemic in London and Luton for donkey's years. What do you think set Tommy Robinson on his way? Because his 13-year-old second cousin, Jeanette, I think her name was attacked by a gang of these weirdos, and she was rescued running up the centre of Berry Park in her panties, in her knickers, after being gang raped by dozens of people, having cocaine and heroin shoved up her nose. So you see, when Tommy Robinson and Britain First and Paul Golding, who I greatly support, start telling you all this thing, you know, there's no point keeps just shouting racist, racist, racist. Here are the facts. Here is I think this is the lady that actually points out it's going on all over the country with Dame. There's thousands and thousands, and the thing is, it's so expensive to take these guys to court. I mean, just in the case of the Huddersfield gang, there were 77 of them. 77, all non-white paedophiles. I'll just see if I can get it up quickly. 77, all non-white weirdos who for many, many years in the past have been attacking young kids, young girls, teenagers. You know, young girls often from poor backgrounds or living in children's homes who are, you know, not getting on with the dad or the parents, who are from poor backgrounds, and, you know, and they actually have a name for our girls. It's quite a sick name, I do warn you. They actually have a name. They actually say our white girls are naive, poor white girls who usually go for them when they're virgins, when they're innocent. They actually call them easy meat because their girls are kept locked indoors, and it's a lot easier, you know, to attack our girls than it is their girls, because their girls are subjugated and they're usually genitally mutilated as well with razor blades. So here's the first gang of the 77 Huddersfield paedophiles. These have got jail for an average of, I think it's only about an average of 12 or 13 years each. They won't do anywhere near that. But this was from a few years ago. And I think this guy pretends, this guy is a Mus, but he tries to pretend to be a Sikh to kind of throw the blame off. He's not. They're all Mohammeds. There's lots of Mohammeds, Ahmeds, and Azizes. Has it got a list of the names here? I expect it will have. Here's the second lot. There's 20 of them all together. Another game of pictures. Yes, 20 of them. And this happened a few years ago. These are the 20 Huddersfield pedos who've just been locked up. But there's 57 more to go. These are the ones that Tommy Robinson was thrown in jail falsely for reporting on, just as I'm doing now. He obeyed the laws quite strictly. He knew he'd been convicted, but he didn't say this on camera, and he said they were accused and what have you. And as you know, he just got a load of abuse going something, your mum's something on camera. So there's just a few of our Middle Eastern origin, Middle Eastern cult following gang paedophiles, and they're attacking them day in, day out. I know from personal experience that usually also the worst ones are the illegals, are these victims, these refugees working in Just Eat kebab houses, Hungry House kebab houses, Facebook these days. I heard of a case just the other week for a taxi driver where some Liverpool girls been duped on Facebook, but it's mainly pizza men, chicken house men, kebab men, Facebook, Uber, and unofficial taxi drivers, not hackneys. Hackneys you're always sound, you're always safe with. But so that's the truth of the matter. So don't listen to these county council Labour wallies. It's in their interest to cover it up, you see, because we don't want anything to upset the value of their house. We don't want anything to upset their. If you say anything about it, I might get suspended. I might lose my £50,000 a year job. Just let them carry on attacking the chavs. Okay, all right, guys, that's just a quick one. They do get taken off these regular, of course. It doesn't quite agree with the narrative of the dignified Arab and the religion of peace, does it? Okay, see you guys, and I'll see you guys up at the next BF meet. See, bye bye.